Today I'm going to be explaining Backrooms level 678, aka the Necropolis. This level scares the EBGBs out of me, and it'll make you think twice before you go and explore a graveyard you find in the Backrooms. Maybe. I don't know, some of y'all like to be scared. Anyways, let's hop into the explanation, shall we? Also, subscribe to my second and third channels if you somehow want more content from me. Backrooms level 678 starts off with a bang, and it's classified as a class unalived zone. There are several environmental hazards, as well as some very anomalous effects, and it's just strictly uninhabitable because of those anomalous effects. The level seems to be a fragmentation, or a sub-level, of level 600, which in and of itself, level 600 is really weird. It's been abandoned, but all that's for another video. This level, level 678, has had many reports from wanderers with pictures and videos about it, and through all those reports, we have deduced the information I'm sharing with you in this video. The level itself is around 600 acres in size, and for those of you who have no idea what an acre is, that's approximately 1 mile or a couple of kilometers. It's not a big level, it's actually pretty small. There are 3 main parts to the level that I will be going over today in this video. The biggest part of the level, which takes the appearance of a graveyard, then there's the church, and finally the skybox. Also, there's a fence surrounding the graveyard. It's around 2 to 3 meters tall, but that's not too important. The level's main area is the graveyard, and the graveyard sits in the very middle of some kind of skybox void, which resembles level 998 in appearance. It's this really weird looking sky. Not much is known about this skybox, but it's creepy to look at, and it kind of gives you this uncanny feeling, like you're not supposed to be looking at it, like you're cheating or something. Everything also feels very staticky and glitchy when you walk around this graveyard, almost like it's on the edge of collapse. More on that later though. The only other feature that sticks out in this graveyard, besides the gravestones, is a single run-down church near the front gates of the level. The church itself looks like a mid-20th century one on the outside, but it doesn't seem like it's from our Earth. It's very strange to look at. The inside is very dingy, and it has no working lights, and every surface inside of the church is covered in cobwebs or dust, which proves that it's been abandoned for some time. There are church pews and stained glass windows and altars and that kind of stuff. You know, the typical stuff you'd find in a church, but it's all very old and very liminal. Again, you feel very weird when you're in the church, like you're not supposed to be seeing it, like you've somehow slipped into this alternate reality to see it. The only light source is from the windows, since none of the lights actually work here in the ceiling, and that pretty much sums up the church. Nothing crazy, just a weird liminal space church. Now, venturing back outside to the graveyard portion of the level, you'll notice several strange anomalies at first. The first one is that it's mostly always daylight. It never gets dimmer or brighter, and this is thought to be because of the skybox void surrounding the level is fake, and it shines a constant light. Another anomaly is that the graves on level 678 all seem to be from different time periods, even though this level isn't that old. Some of the graves look brand new, some look ancient, and the style of graves also varies very widely. Although one interesting note is that none of the graves are really extravagant or anything. There's no big mausoleums or anything grand like that. They just look like common gravestones for the most part. The most common type of gravestones here are tombstones and obelisks, which are the ones you've seen in real life probably. And all of these graves in the graveyard give off a very eerie feeling. It makes you feel isolated, but not alone. Scared, but not terrified. It's as if you can kind of feel the spirits of those that are buried here, but you can't see them. Walking through the graveyard, you also might notice a few gravestones glitching or warping. And if you see this, it's an indicator of something that's about to happen called a shutdown. But again, more on that in a couple of minutes. Recovered files and information from people who used to live on level 600 say that this cemetery graveyard on level 678 is titled the St. Julius Cemetery. A lot of the information about this level comes from wanderers, but there's also another source of information that we're getting it from an entity named Natalie. Now, information on Natalie herself is very rare, and there's not much known about her. But what is known is that Natalie once lived on level 600, and she seems to know a lot about level 678 and the inhabitants of the graves. It's assumed that Natalie used to take the appearance of a human, but now she looks like the statue of a girl, and the statue is crumbling and old looking. It seems like the statue of Natalie somehow shows people around the level and communicates with them and shows them where specific grave sites are, and it's just really weird. So I've gone over the graveyard, the church, and a little bit about the skybox that surrounds it all. But now I'm going to talk to you about what I've been hinting at, a phenomenon that happens here called the shutdown. This is an event that seems to always happen here on level 678 during the worst times. And it's caused by a few things, but we're not really sure exactly what. Sometimes the skybox that surrounds the area starts to glitch and become volatile. This is thought to have something to do with level 600's destruction, because it's thought the level was destroyed by being glitchy and volatile and collapsing on itself. But when this happens here on level 678, everything will begin to get really staticky and fragmented and just start collapsing around you. It's like the facade of reality is breaking. This causes the entire level to glitch and to warp and to teleport in strange ways. Obviously, this is extremely dangerous to people who are on the level when it's happening, because when everything glitches and warps, your body's also going to be glitching and warping, which does not feel fun. As the level continues to shut down, it'll eventually plunge into these glitchy swirls and glitchy fragments, and the skybox will be like a blender whirling whatever's in it around in circles until it just becomes broken and glitchy fully. So if you see a gravestone or something start to glitch, or if you feel a lot of static start to happen, you need to run as fast as possible to an exit to avoid being blended up into glitchy static, because that's the fate of whatever's stuck here when the shutdown happens. No more than one person can be inside this level at once, so it's all on you to make it out alive and unscathed. And to do that, you can exit by entering the church a bunch of times for a chance to be sent to level 105, or you can try to survive the glitchy blender shutdown thing by being in the church, and if you do that, you'll get sent to an enigmatic level known as the end of the freaking world. Yes, it's another dangerous level. I've gone over it before, it's on my channel. But if you don't want to go to that level, and you don't want to try to survive the glitchy shutdown, you can walk through the main gate of the graveyard into the skybox beyond it, and take a ladder to level 165. Now for some reason, if you want to come to this graveyard, you can enter it by walking into a church you see from the blue channel, and you'll wake up in this church. So yeah, this one was crazy, so I'm going to summarize it really quickly before the video ends. This level looks like a graveyard that's floating in some kind of anomalous skybox. The skybox looks fake and has weird cloud formations all around it, just like level 998. There's an old abandoned church building that offers rest from the sunlight, and maybe rest from a shutdown too, we don't know. And there's a ton of strange anomalous graves sticking out of the ground. There's a weird statue here named Natalie that's kind of like the controller or overseer of the level, and she's very anomalous and not fully understood. The graveyard itself is surrounded by a gate on all sides, and if you walk outside of the gate, then you can leave, which you better do before the level goes through one of its shutdown events where the physical matter around you becomes so volatile and becomes so corrupt that it glitches and blends you up into a static mess, and you'll get ripped apart. Alright, does that all make sense? Hope it did. Thank you so much for watching. Check my other channels out below. Check the description for my Patreon, Twitter, anything like that if you want to support me. And if you want to support me for free, leave a like and comment on the video to help the channel get to 1 million subscribers. Thank you so much for all you do. I love and appreciate you, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.